happens, the room where it happens, the room where it happens. Welcome back to another tutorial. I'm Lara, and today we are entering the wonderful world of Hamilton. If you've seen this musical, then you probably love this song as much as I do, and it is so much fun to play on ukulele, so I'm very excited to share it with you. We're going to start off on the chorus. The chorus uses 4 different chords, so I'll show you the fingerings for these chords, as well as how to easily transition between them. I'll show you 2 different strumming patterns. One is a bit easier, one is a bit more intermediate. After the chorus, we'll move into the verses. So the verses are mostly spoken, and I've figured out some very easy musical accompaniment to the verses that sounds really cool, so stick around for that as well. Now let's get started. The 4 chords that are used in the chorus are A minor, F7, D minor 7, and E7. Now before I show you the fingerings, I'm going to show you a quick diagram of all of the chords that are in the song. You'll also find this down below in the description along with the lyrics. So hit pause if you need to, and then I'll show you how to play these chords. Our first chord is A minor. We're going to play this with our middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. Now to move into F7, we're going to leave our middle finger right where it is. We'll place down our ring finger and our pinky on the 3rd frets of the 3rd and 1st strings. We'll also place down our index finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. So we have all 4 fingers down. And now it's actually quite an easy transition from F7 to D minor 7. The only change is that our ring finger is moving back 1 fret from the 3rd fret to the 2nd fret. So the transition for those 3 chords looks like this: A minor, F7, D minor 7. Now to go to E7, this is a completely different shape. So we're going to lift our hand and move into our E7 shape, which is index finger on the 1st fret of the 4th string, and then middle and ring fingers on the 2nd frets of the 3rd and 1st strings. Practice these chords, and you want to get the transitions nice and smooth in your left hand. You can practice them slowly, and you can even play through the whole chorus at a slower tempo using a basic down strum. So for example, I could play through the first 2 lines this way. No one else was in the room where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened. And once you're ready, you can move into adding in the strumming patterns. Now I'll show you 2 strumming patterns that you can use for the chorus. Both of these use chucking methods, which is a way of muting the strings and creating a nice percussive sound. So the first strumming pattern looks like this. I'm using my index finger for the down strum and the up strum, and I'm using my knuckles to mute the strings. The rhythm of this pattern is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I sing through the first 2 lines of the chorus using this pattern, this is what it sounds like. No one else was in the room where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened. It's okay to start off nice and slow and practice this until you get the rhythm of this strum into your right hand, and then you'll be able to bring it up to speed. The second strumming pattern sounds like this. I'm using my index finger for the down strums and my thumb for the up strum. Then I'm using the palm of my hand to mute the strings. Now if you prefer, you can use your knuckles to mute the strings, just like we did in the first pattern. The rhythm of this pattern is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Ideally, the up strum that you're doing with your thumb is the loudest part of this strum. Now if I sing through the first 2 lines of the chorus using this strumming pattern, this is what it sounds like. No one else is in the room where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened. Just like the first strumming pattern, give this time and practice to get into your right hand, and then you'll be able to bring it up to speed. Now we'll walk through the melody of the chorus. The first two lines repeat, so they're the same as lines 3 and 4. So here are the first 4 lines. No one else was in the room where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened. No one else was in the room where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened. Now the next 2 lines we're using the same chord sequence, but the melody changes. No one really knows how the game is played, the art of the trade, how the sausage gets made. For the last 2 lines of the chorus, we're going to jump right back into our F7 chord. And these lyrics come quickly, so we just assume that it happens. And then moving over to E7, we're just going to do a down strum and hold it. But no one else is in the room where it happens. So for those last 2 lines, the strumming looks like this. Alright, now we've gotten through the chorus, so next comes the verses. Now if you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up, and thank you so much for subscribing. I very much appreciate your support for my channel. So moving into the verses, I studied the Broadway soundtrack and I listened to this song over and over again to try and figure out what the music was playing in the background behind the spoken verses. And this is what I hear. So I'm going to show you how to play this. Here's what this looks like up close. I'm starting off with an A minor chord, and I'm finger picking strings 4 down to 1. I'm playing with a low G on my ukulele. If you have a high G, then yours will sound like this. And you can actually start by playing string 1, 3, 2, 1. Either way will sound good. For the next part, we're going to stay on strings 1 and 2. So I'm going to put my index finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string and my middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. I'm going to pick string 2 and then 1. And then after that, I can either do a hammer-on onto the 3rd fret of the 1st string, or I can simply pick the string again. So the 2 options here look like this. Or, and those 3 notes are going to be repeated twice with this rhythm. So putting all of this together, it looks like this. Now here's what it sounds like when we add in the lyrics. I'm going to sing through the first 4 lines of the first verse that I have listed in the lyric sheet down below. 2 Virginians and an immigrant walk into a room, diametrically opposed foes. They emerge with a compromise, having opened doors that were previously closed, bros. There's one more piece to show you, and that is the announcement of the horns that happens at the beginning of each verse. We're going to do this using 2 chords. The first is E minor, and the second is F minor. This chord is a little more tricky. I have my index finger and middle finger on the 1st frets of strings 4 and 2, and then my pinky on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. So to imitate the horns, here's the rhythm that we'll use starting on E minor, and I'll play this slowly. Now I'm going to bring this all together and share with you 2 verses and 2 choruses. This accounts for about 90 seconds of the song. Now the entire song is over 5 minutes, so if you want to learn the entire song, my best advice to you is to listen to the Broadway recording over and over very carefully, not only to the words, but the emphasis on the words and different syllables, because there is a lot to learn there. Now I've included a link to the Broadway recording down in the description. 2 Virginians and an immigrant walk into a room, diametrically opposed foes. They emerge with a compromise, having opened doors that were previously closed. Bros, the immigrant emerges with unprecedented financial power, a system he can shape however he wants. The Virginians emerge with a nation's capital. And here's the pièce de résistance. No one else was in the room where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened. No one else was in the room where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened. No one really knows how the game is played, the art of the trade, how the sausage gets made. We just assume that it happens. No one else is in the room where it happens. Thomas claims Alexander was on Washington's doorstep one day, in distress and disarray. Thomas claims Alexander said, "I've nowhere else to turn," and basically begged me to join the fray. Thomas claims I approached Madison and said, "I know you hate him, but let's hear what he has to say." Thomas claims, "Well, I arranged the meeting, I arranged the menu, the venue, the seating, but no one else was in the room where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened. No one else was in the room where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened. No one really knows how the parties get to yes, the pieces that are sacrificed in every game of chess. We just assume that it happens, but no one else is in the room where it happens." So give this song some practice, and I hope you enjoy playing it as much as I do. Thank you so much for watching.